You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Friday, May 8th. I'd like to share some thoughts about CEOs. Imagine trying to hit the gas on a massive AI-driven tech transformation right as your central bank just, slams the brakes on the cost of capital.
Yeah, it's a brutal collision course.
Right, and that's exactly what executives here in Korea are waking up to this week. The Bank of Korea, or BOK, is signaling a pretty unusual rate hike pivot.
Well, Senior Deputy Governor Yu Seung-dae is pointing toward hawkish moves at the upcoming May 28th Monetary Policy Board, or MPB, meeting. April 2026, inflation expectations are really climbing.
Up to 2.9% for 1 year out, right?
Exactly, and 2.6% for 5 years. They even resurfaced this old 2022 BOK blog post that urged preemptive action.
So how does a rising cost of capital actually square with the state's massive hopes for AI productivity?
It's a huge squeeze for anyone running a P&L. The Korea Institute of Public Finance, the key IPF, just modeled that AI could lift Korea's GDP by 0.3 to 0.4 percentage points annually.
Wow, which is huge because it helps offset the demographic decline.
Right. They think it could delay the exhaustion of the National Pension Fund from 2062 out to maybe 2065 or 2067.
But wait, the book previously warned that 27% of workers face a high risk of being substituted by AI. You can't just displace a quarter of the workforce smoothly while debt gets more expensive.
No, you really can't. The cost of financing these new AI initiatives is spiking exactly when you need to overhaul your workforce structure. It forces leaders to look at operational resilience in a much harsher light.
And, operational resilience isn't just about local capital. It's a physical infrastructure problem. Let's look at Taiwan's liquid natural gas, or LNG, reserves.
Oh, yeah. They are down to an 11-day inventory because of the Strait of Hormuz blockade.
Which is terrifying, considering their semiconductor sector alone eats up 18% of the island's total power.
It fundamentally rewrites supply chain security. To compensate, Taiwan is having to secure U.S. spot LNG at double their normal contract prices.
Driving, $44 billion in preliminary Alaska LNG deals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the overlapping blockade risk in the Taiwan Strait or the Bashi Channel doesn't just cut off finished chips, it cuts off the fuel required to make them.
So if you're a CEO heavily exposed to semis, TSMC building factories overseas isn't just expansion. It's a desperate hedge against the lights literally going out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And that physical supply chain vulnerability really mirrors what we're seeing in Korea's supposedly protected domestic consumer market.
Absolutely.
Right.
Look at the Chinese auto push into Korea right now. BYD is already the fourth most popular imported brand.
Right, moving almost 6,000 units year-to-date through April.
And they're bringing in the Celion 6 DMI. It's a plug-in hybrid with a 1,670-kilometer range.
While Hyundai and Kia have these 600 to 700-kilometer hybrids, but they're strictly export only, so there's this massive domestic gap.
Yeah, and Chinese automakers are exploiting it. It's a live test case showing that regulatory friction just can't stop a combined price and technology offensive.
Geely is opening a luxury Zeekr showroom right on Yeongdong-daero, the heart of Gangnam's premium auto district.
And Chery is co-developing the SE10 with a domestic manufacturer, KG Mobility or KGM. It's essentially a local Trojan horse. Plus, XPeng is planning a major launch by late 2026.
The traditional moats are just evaporating, which brings us to how local incumbents are responding. Let's talk about Hansol Group's roughly 390 billion won, or about $287 million M&A pivot into semiconductors.
Right.
Is this actually a strategic moat, or is it just a classic cable, a family conglomerate succession play for Vice President Cho Sung-min?
Well, it's a mechanism that does both. They used a specific rights issue structure with a company called Will Technology.
Right.
And this maneuver lifts the holding company, Hansol Holdings, and its stake in the operating subsidiary, Hansol Technics, from 20% to about 38%.
Consolidating control perfectly for a third-generation succession.
Exactly. Now, this is fully disclosed and completely legal, but minority shareholders and foreign core investors scrutinize these holdco to subsidiary transfers precisely because they concentrate family power while shifting the capital burden.
Right, a local maneuver to consolidate power. Contrast that with global tech. Anthropic is literally renting compute power from a direct competitor, xAI, down in Memphis.
It's incredible. We're talking 300 megawatts, over 220,000 NVIDIA GPUs.
Just to double their Claude Code limits, all ahead of a widely reported expected IPO in late 2026.
Yeah, competitor labs renting from each other is the new floor for frontier compute scarcity. If you're negotiating with hyperscalers today, you have to price this in immediately, which leaves decision makers with a critical question. As basic capital and frontier compute both grow exponentially scarcer, which of your core operational assumptions need an immediate rewrite?
That's today's AI Prism, CEOs. This episode is produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a one i4O award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.